guys, welcome back to another video. I am so glad you could join us. Today we're going to be talking about my bulk that I have just recently finished. We are going to be discussing bulking, how my journey was with the bulk, what I learned, advice I can give you, an all-encompassing little video because I appreciate that a lot of people are, especially us women, like, what is the bulk? What does it mean? I asked you guys some questions, so we've got some questions. I'm gonna separate the video out, so check the chapters if there's something that you want to skip to. I think the first place it makes sense to start off with is, what is a bulk? Everybody always asks me this and I didn't know at all, but in its simplest form, a bulk is where you are strategically eating in calorie surplus with the goal in mind that you will be putting on muscle mass, or you're trying to improve your strength. I guess the best way that I think about it is that food is fuel, right? Food is fuel. You know, food is energy. So you're eating a lot of food to fuel what you're trying to do. A big factor of it is that you need to be training hard. However, if you are not training hard, you're not pushing yourself, and if you're just eating in calorie surplus, then that's when it will get converted into fat. Gaining fat is inevitable. That's something that you go into the bulk with an understanding of. There are things that you can do in order to minimize the amount of fat that you are adding to your body. You may well have heard of a thing called lean bulking and dirty bulking. This is more of a thing of the past. I'm not, in my personal opinion, I'm not really sure it's so much like that, but back in the day people would dirty bulk and they would still be trying to consume as many calories as they can, but they would literally just having fast food, all these you know, really fatty foods, just to get the food in. Of course, with that you will gain a lot of fat as well. That's inevitable. A way that you can avoid it is if you do clean bulking, which is where you just are eating a higher amount of calories, but you're eating really well. You know, you're still eating healthy foods, whole foods, you're not having loads of junk food. I would say for my bulk, I was just in between. I started, I haven't even thought about how long I did it. I think it was, so I started in November. So November, December, January. So I did 3-month bulk. I really wouldn't suggest doing anything shorter. If anything, a lot of people do longer bulks. I'll come on to a reason why I'm not doing it any longer. I was doing mine over the festive period, so there was a lot of temptation around, a lot. And just a side note, I'm not somebody that calorie counts, nor do I look at the scales, take measurements. I feel that if it works for you, brilliant. Use it as a means to kind of track your progress. However, I feel that having grown up in the age of heroin chic and the noughties, I have a very weird relationship with food. I think as a repercussion and fallout of just being a very impressionable child, growing up with skinny being the in and all of these diets and counting calories. So I just like to learn to eat intuitively, and I honestly really recommend it. I think if you can do that, you have a much better chance for success in terms of longevity and actually creating meaningful change. Anyway, that was such a tangent, but I wasn't tracking. I generally know how much I need. In my mind, I know how much I need to eat just to be in maintenance, and so yeah, I was eating more. Okay, so I feel like that kind of leads me into, if I was talking about eating and intuitively eating, what was I eating? Well, I did do a what I eat on a bulk video, so go check that out if you haven't already. So you can kind of just see what kind of thing I was doing. Carbohydrates on a bulk are your best friend, so this would be pasta, rice, I mean to even a certain extent bread, but yeah, I was consuming a lot of making sure that a vast proportion of my meal was the carbs. No matter really what your goals are, if you're interested in building muscle, protein is essential. It's essential for building and for recovery. And so yeah, I was making sure that a nice portion of my meal was protein, which obviously you're going to get your calories in anyway, and then a nice portion of my meal was those carbohydrates. The thing is with the bulk is you can be a lot more relaxed with it because you have more room to play with. It's you're going for surplus. It's not like you're trying to be in a deficit, and with a calorie deficit the only way you're going to lose weight is if you are burning what you're consuming, if that makes sense. So yeah, just with bulking, I do feel like there's a lot of like room for flexibility. I guess the main thing is just making sure that you do eat enough if you are an under eater. I do want to just jump in and say, because I am someone that doesn't struggle with eating, I in fact love it, so I don't have any like personal like tips or anything. However, if you are someone that struggles with eating and you're trying your hardest, then like there are products out there that, you know, will help you. And there's a lot of creators as well that specialize in people that can't consume enough food or like struggle to find food motivation and that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's that. I guess like what I enjoyed about it most, I want to talk about next. This was really interesting for me. So let me talk about the physical side first. So physically, it was just really beautiful, honestly, to see me always making things so like romanticized. I found it a really beautiful process to be able to see directly how food is energy and energy is fuel, and that feeding myself would get my body to do just the most amazing things. Like my strength has increased so much so rapidly, and I've been doing it for a while now, so it's not like I've got like beginner's strength or anything. You can really feel it, like you can feel that energy behind you. It was just really, I think it was really powerful. Again, as a female that's grown up in like a time where food was kind of like demonized, and I definitely have had my struggles with food. It was just really profound, and I think generally like the gym community anyway have really helped me work around like my thoughts about food and my like ideologies of it and stuff. And the gym community really embrace food and embrace you to see it as a tool to achieve what you need, and yeah, just seeing it as fuel rather than like a thing that's directly going to make you fat if you eat too much, or it's like no, that is going to make you strong. And I found that really empowering, and I was able to feel empowered by it. So that was really special for me. It was a real mental learning curve on my bulk to trust the process, and just watching my body gain weight, I was able to sit there and acknowledge like my body's changing, I know I'm gaining weight and I'm losing my abs and like whatever, you know. I remember seeing a video, I'll insert it here, I remember seeing a video of me just kind of relaxing, it wasn't posed or anything, but relaxing and being like, where's all my muscle definition? And then like, you know, worrying about what other people would think of like, oh, Sid's a gym girl, like she does this and look at how she's looking, she's really let go of herself. But like just kind of sitting there and telling myself like, no, see the positives. Like my upper body is so much more like I think has gained a lot of like muscle mass. See the positive in me gaining my strength, see the positive in like my glutes finally growing after like forever. I guess my advice for that to anyone else is just to focus on what your goals are, you know. Yeah, that was just interesting. I've just realised as well, I haven't actually spoke about like what I've noticed aesthetically. So I would say like I lost a lot of definition on my back. However, I almost feel like because I've now gained some muscle mass, it's coming back. I think my upper body, I took some videos, so you'll be able to see, but I am feeling more muscular. Definitely, I think my arms are more. But I found it really interesting that, you know, as soon as I was eating calorie surplus, the weight was going straight on my bum. Like that's what, if anyone is struggling with their glutes, anyone who has had a successful glute growth journey will tell you it's all in the food. It's obviously in training hard as well. Progressive overload, making sure that you are really getting that mind muscle connection with your glutes and training them in isolation, but a very vast amount of it is protein and eating in calorie surplus. So yeah, that was really nice to see, because I've definitely lost the glute gains, and I'm not glute dominant anyway.
I wanted to show you guys how I aesthetically look before photos, after photos, and just kind of like, yeah, how I'm looking, and like in a visual way that you can actually see. I tried to wear the same and I tried to pose the same, but the poses are slightly different. but we move. Okay, cool. Right, let's go here to the front. I mean, most immediately where I'm noticing it, one of the main points is my chest. I really feel like my chest is more built here. And that might also be because I've been doing incline bench. So that could have definitely had an impact. Also, side note, oh my God. Like, I did not expect my boobs to get as big as they have on this bulk. I mean, it makes sense because it's kind of just like fatty. Yeah, that's been like surprising. Definitely my lats. If we look at my lats here, I feel like they have got bigger. It's annoying because it's not the same pose, but like if you look here, it looks so. And again, I'm not mainly looking here like at the fullness of like the bicep and of my shoulders, my front delts. I really felt like my front delts and generally just my shoulders really built up in this bulk. Abs, this was like such, oh my gosh, my voice, wow. This was like such a big thing for me. So this is before and then after. It's like not even that deep. Yeah, okay, like certainly here you can see a little bit more fat, but we knew this was going to happen, and actually it's not that bad. Going down to my legs, after, before, after. I feel like, is it just me, or I feel like the quad is built up more, but I do feel like quads are growing. Anyway, let's move on, otherwise this will take forever. Okay, this is the side. Here, I feel like that definitely feels like it's more massive. Glutes, I'm happy with the progress. I am happy with that. I can see it. More just about like the roundedness here and just, I guess, the general size. Yeah, see that quad? I knew it. This is the before. After. Quad freaking mummy. Before, actually no, hang on. Before. So this is what I was talking about of like being upset about losing definition. And you really can't even tell. Yeah, okay, it looks defined there, but I definitely think like when I'm just naturally posing, that's when you notice that I now have more fat. But I'm surprised that you can't really see. I felt that I noticed I carried it a lot around my sides. Oh, what have I done here? But yeah, that's a before and that's after, before, after. I just feel like there's more muscle here as well. I was standing on my toes in the other one, so that's why I stood on my toes again. And I'm happy to say I'm seeing, yeah. So anyway, that's that. Back to Sydney.
If you are planning to go into a bulk or you're in a bulk and you're just like, oh, why? Be mindful of genetics, right? And be mindful of where fat is stored on different people. So for me, I mean, I haven't really actually started cutting yet. And I didn't have massive abs to begin with. But like, look, they are pretty much still there. Like genetically, I've never stored fat really on my stomach. Mine will always go to my legs. I guess it's, you know, I know it's gone to the back, but maybe perhaps mine is more evenly distributed. So just be gentle with yourself and understand that it's going to look different on everybody. And likewise, if you are doing a bulk and you realise that you're maybe gaining a bit too much, too rapidly, then just ease off a bit. Like you can still just really understand that like everybody is super individual with the way they respond to training, the way they respond to food. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say on that. I think now we'll answer some questions that you guys said. A lot of people asking like, how do you know when to bulk? How do I know when to bulk? How do I know when it's been enough time? There's always a joke in like the, I guess, bodybuilding or gym community that you bulk until you don't like your reflection in the mirror, and then you cut when you've lost your strength enough. Because yeah, that is generally like, yeah, what happens unfortunately. In terms of length, personally I wouldn't do it shorter than 3 months because I just don't think that's enough time to just work on that progressive overload with your strength and just, you know, you really want to give it a good shot. I did say I was going to come back to it. The reason why I'm not doing it anymore is because I feel that I've got to a point where I want to cut, because I do want to be more defined. And also the reason is because I don't like to track, as I've mentioned previously. I want to do mine a lot more slowly. To be honest, I'll be a little bit below maintenance. I don't want to be really strict with it, so I'm just allowing myself a longer time to kind of get cut for summer, and that's fine. That's fine to do. Whatever the like long, short and like final bottom line of everything is, just do what works for you. How do you decide when you're gonna bulk and when you're gonna cut? I guess it's just like based on like what your goals are. So say for example you want to grow your glutes and you really just like you want to get bigger, you really want to like get these muscles going. The bulk is for like achieving those muscle mass strength goals quicker. So I would suggest maybe doing it then. If you're looking at yourself and you're like, I want to gain more muscle and I want to gain it quick and I want to like be stronger, definitely a bulk. If you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, like yeah, I want to be more defined, like I want to lose some fat, then a cut. If you're looking at yourself and you're like, well, I've got fat and I also want to grow muscles because I know that like my muscles are definitely not where I want them to be, maybe you to throw a third one into the mix, maybe you'd be looking at body recomp. Body recomp is a whole nother thing. In summary, it's just where you'd probably be eating at like a maintenance and you'd be working on losing the fat and gaining muscle at the same time. It is possible to grow muscle during a cut. It's just harder. It's just harder. So yeah, I think just try to focus on like your goals. What do I want to achieve? How am I going to get there? How do you know you're gaining muscle and not fat when your weight goes up? So I've kind of covered this already, but I just really want to reiterate, because I was actually talking to my friend about this, Mel, shout out to Mel. Please do not be put off by the number on the scales when you are bulking or when you're really trying to work on growing muscles. Muscles weigh a lot, right? And the scales won't tell you how much fat, how much like, well, standard scales of course, and even the ones that do aren't that accurate, but just like know that if the number's going up, it might not necessarily, or if the number's going down, it might not necessarily be like a reflection of it being fat or it being muscle mass. The best way I do it is I just look aesthetically, take progress photos, couldn't say it anymore, take the damn pictures. It helps so much. Even if you're at the start of your journey, best place to start it, because the vast improvements and transformation that you're about to go on, if you are at the start of your journey and if you truly commit to the process, it's gonna be wild. So take the photos and then, you know, you've got a visual marker you've got a way to track progress that isn't as like, oh, the number on the scale. Again, just wouldn't work for me. I know some people really that does work for them. How's your split going to be? So split stays the same for me anyway, so if you don't know, I do like not in this order, I just do it in any order that I fancy. I do push, pull, quads and cars, and then glutes and hamstrings, and then I just do like a random day when I've probably got to catch up with all the things that I've missed. So yeah, you can just keep it the same, or that's providing that you're doing resistance training. If you're not already doing like hard training, yeah, just make sure that you're just trying to like really hit those muscles. You're trying to put them through the process because they've got the fuel behind them to go for it, and you want to make sure that you are pushing it so that you're not having it all just convert into fat. Like so many of the questions are just literally like, how do you know when to start? So hopefully I've answered that for you. Someone's asking how many bulking phases have you done? I have literally done one bulk and then I just kind of went to maintenance, and then I stayed at maintenance the whole of summer, and then I've just done another bulk, and now I'm going to be in like a cut, maintenance, and like right through summer, because you know the thing is like I went into this with the intention, I don't think I've even spoken about that. I went into this with the intention of gaining, I just wanted to get a bit bigger, but ultimately my goal is to be like defined. I like that. I like that kind of athletic physique. I just like to be like a thicker athletic physique. Tips for getting all your calories in: make sure that you get a good breakfast, and make sure that you're maybe just eating throughout the day, not just waiting until like the end of the day and then you're like, damn, I've got all of this. Yeah, and then I guess like you can always use supplements as like a fail-safe. If you do, I haven't mentioned this already, if you do need help with working out how many calories you need, there's like plenty of things online, so you can just use that for reference. So you can just work out like how much you would be at maintenance. That's all different. That's all based on height and you know, that's the factors like that. Did you have a kilogram increase goal or a time frame you worked towards? No, and actually I don't actually know how much I weigh. I will insert a clip now. I'm wearing socks because no feet for free, you know what I mean? But I will take my trousers off. Okay, let's go. Have a laugh. I'm like 72. Oh my god, I thought I put on so much weight. Wait, what the hell? This is what I'm saying. That's really confusing. But anyway, at least I did it for you. There you are. Okay, so yeah, well, I'm sure you know now, and future Sydney knows how much I weigh. I have no idea how much I've gained. I mean, I feel I've gained like a decent amount. Having said that, I still do have some sort of abs. I don't know. For me, it was more just about like aesthetics. That's what I like to go by quite a lot of the time. And yeah, I felt that 3 months for me would have been a nice... I could have done another month. I'm happy where I've got to, but now I feel that that's not really the goal anymore. It's annoying though, because I've been really enjoying working on my strength. Honestly, I feel like they're all like the same questions, so I think I'm gonna end it there, because I feel like I've answered a lot of the questions. If I did miss anything out, please feel free to pop it in the comments below. If you are still watching now, thank you so much for just sitting here. Whenever you are watching this, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It helps me so much. I was saying to you guys about how I really would love to grow YouTube. I think I've got like an important message and an interesting like perspective on like the gym community, and it's been growing really nicely. Any kind of support or engagement really helps push my channel out, so if you did enjoy that, then I would appreciate it so much. But enough from me. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will most definitely see you in the next one. Bye! I always just like try to rearrange my plants so that I look like a gardening queen. However, it's looking a bit worse for wear. Shoot. Okay. Oh no, there's no fixing that one. Right, sorry honey, you're gonna have to go over here. You've just been promoted. You've just been promoted. Oh, she's gorgeous.